Hey, what's up, all of you beautiful subscribers? Welcome back to the Chapple Show. So we're actually going to talk about a lot of stuff today, from real estate to the stock market to tech news to entrepreneurship stuff. But we're going to lead off with real estate here and a personal thing. So anyways, the title of this article says, if you own a cheaper house, you're in the money. And so pretty much what this article says here is that actually buying properties in the lower end of purchase price, they actually appreciate a lot faster than those at the higher end of the market here, or even in the middle end of the market here. So for example, if you were to buy a cheap house in Atlanta, it'll most likely appreciate by 13%. Well, in the past year, that's how much they appreciated, versus the high-end market only appreciated 4%. And so this goes with a lot of the big cities here. So New York appreciated 8.4% for the low end and only appreciated 6.4% for the high end, and it's pretty much the same for all of these major cities here. And so pretty much what does that mean? Well, if you buy into a market as a not an investor, not the rental market, but you're buying a home for you to live in, it's actually better for you for appreciation purposes if you actually do buy the cheaper houses to start off with. And just based on this one survey, and this is something that they've only been tracking this for about a decade or so, but yeah, that's actually really cool news. So if you're just starting, if you're buying your first house, it's actually might be better for as an investment. Even though I never consider buying a single family home as an investment. It might turn into a good investment, but don't buy it as an investment. It's more of a neutral. It's not a liability. It's not an investment. It's somewhere in between. It can be a liability and it can be an investment when you look back after 10 years. But anyway, so why is this important to me right now? Is because I actually talked to a mortgage specialist yesterday. And so as you guys know, they kind of, mortgage companies, I live in Canada too, and they kind of discriminate against people that are self-employed and young specifically. So that's not good for me. I'm 23 and self-employed, right? And if the other thing too is that in Canada, you need 2 consecutive years of consistently good income to get a mortgage. Okay, you need 2 consistently good years to get a mortgage. And so, I mean, last year I was a student for most of last year, and I was also getting my real estate license, so I made some money, but it wasn't that much, right? Now this year was significantly more. In the past 365 days, I've made a lot of money for someone my age, and so I went up to the mortgage specialist just to kind of get his feeling, get the feeling of, what do you think? Do you think I could get a mortgage anytime soon? And I was a little bit surprised. He said, yeah, because technically I would have to wait another full year, another 12 to 15 months. I have to file a couple more tax returns or tax forms in order to get a mortgage if I were a normal young person. But he said, like, look, based on your income, if you just wait a few months and file your taxes in January or February, then you can buy a place. You don't have to wait another full year because you've made enough money in you made enough money in 1 year where you don't need the 2 years of consistent income. Well, and I thought that was really cool because in my videos, I mean, if you look back to a video from 2 years ago, I said about how to be a real estate investor, like what bank? I remember saying this. I'll go back to university. So a couple years ago in university, I was like, okay, maybe I could buy my first property when I'm like 28 to 30 years old, because I'm only going to get a $30,000 to $40,000 a year job straight out of university. And then maybe I work my way up and save a little bit, and then maybe I get approved by the time I'm 30. And then one of the reasons why I actually joined this entrepreneurship journey was because I listened to a Grant Cardone podcast saying, like, look, if you make enough money as quick as possible, a bank's not going to turn you down. And I took that to heart. And so I got my real estate license, and I spent the last year earning a fair amount of money. And well, that's true. I mean, I'm an exception to the rule. I don't need 2 consecutive years of proper tax assessments. I just need to file my tax. Like it's going to be good. And so I'm going to be able to buy a property within the next few months if I want to, which is very, very cool. So, yeah, I had to share that with you guys. There are certain things where, if you earn enough money, you can get around some of the regulations, I guess, regarding buying a home. And so I don't know what that number is. Maybe in your area you need to make $100,000 to get around it in your first year. Maybe in your area you need to make $50,000, maybe $200,000. I don't know, whatever the number is. There is a number where you don't have to wait the full 2 years to get a house, which is really cool. Good for me. So anyways, that's exciting. It also means that I'll be able to start recording me investing in real estate. Now, I don't know if I'm going to be buying a duplex. I don't know if I'm going to be buying a single family home. I don't know if I'm going to be getting a townhouse. Probably not, because I don't want a townhouse or an apartment. But I'll keep you guys posted what it's like to actually buy a property. You know, taking what it's like to some of the lawyer stuff. Yeah, you know, if I'm renting it out, how to rent it. And it's going to be really cool, because that's what I wanted this channel to be when I started. So that yeah. I don't know. I'm just happy. So what do you guys what do you guys think of that happening? No, it's just cool. I just need to talk about it. So let's move on here to some actual business stuff. Actually, the question I wanted to ask you guys actually was, so do you guys want to buy your single family home, or do you guys want to buy the place that you live in? Because Grant Cardone, he says, you know, never buy the place that you live in. Buy places that you can rent out to other people. So if you're gonna live in a single family home, rent it out so that you can move and be mobile. And I understand that. I'm kind of thinking about that. Maybe I rent out where I live, and then maybe I rent an apartment somewhere, and then I go buy a duplex and go from there. I don't know. I'll keep you guys posted on my thought process. Anyways, let's move on here. Let's move on to YouTube pulls ads on 2 million inappropriate children's videos. So why this is important is because, well, I mean, this is big money, guys. I mean, they took down 270 accounts, 150,000 videos, and switched off commenting of 625,000 videos. Now, normally I don't talk about this kind of stuff, but I mean, ads were removed from nearly 2 million videos and 50,000 channels. I mean, this is a big adpocalypse, and I understand it, because here's the deal. I'm going to show you guys a video here, just a quick 10-20 second clip here. There's a lot of rogue videos out there that will play themselves as under the child platform, and they'd be under YouTube Kids, and they'd be, you know, G-rated or whatever. And because YouTube can't go out and search every single video and vet every single video, because, you know, there's whatever thousands of hours loaded every single second or every minute, or I don't know what the number is. They obviously can't check every video, and the algorithm's not good enough to fix all this stuff. And so they got videos like this, like ads were being placed, children's ads were being placed on videos like this. And so if you guys can't see this, if you're listening in podcast form, pretty much a guy's assembling a syringe, a needle, and then wiping a baby's butt, and implying that the syringe is going to go right up in there. And there are tons of videos like that out there. It's just kind of a very weird area where, is it graphic? No. But should it be shown to kids? No. So anyways, YouTube's cracking down on that. So by the looks of it, 625,000 videos, if they got millions of views, I mean, we're talking tens of millions, or even potentially hundreds of millions of ad dollars just disappearing right there. Maybe even more than that. I know that a lot of companies are taking their money out of YouTube, so this is kind of big. If you're a YouTuber, I know a lot of you are making your own videos. This could be big for you, and if you're starting a kids-related channel, just, you know, make sure it's related to kids, and you may experience. Actually, you know what? Because all of these bad kids videos were taken down, if the ad supply dollars stay the same, then that might actually mean that the other kids videos ad revenue might go up. Does that make sense? Because there's less supply of videos, but the ad dollars might stay the same. So guess what? You need to advertise more on the legit kid videos, and there won't be any advertising on the ones that got banned. So anyways, that's my thought on that. Really weird stuff there from people that make, like, why would you even make those videos, man? Of like syringes, and then there's people being like forced to make out, and like Philip DeFranco did a really good video on this, actually, so you should go look it up. He shows some videos of, like, I don't know, some Spider-Man like pinning down Elsa and like making out with her or something, like really weird like subjects that kids shouldn't really be shown. I mean, they should be watching Dora the Explorer. Although there's Dora the Explorer videos out there that are made by YouTubers, and it's like Dora the Explorer like decapitates the fox character or whatever. So I don't know. What do you guys think of all that stuff? Let me know in the comments down below. Okay, big news here from Airbnb, which is really cool. I just thought that this was a really cool feature they made, which was okay, so when you rent out an Airbnb place, I haven't done that, but if you do, it's you log onto your account, and let's say you and 5 of your friends are going to go rent out a party place and just, you know, it's for a weekend so that you guys can hang out somewhere, right? What happens is that one of you pays for all of it and then collects like cash from your other friends separately. So you pay Airbnb and then you collect cash from your 4 other friends. But now Airbnb fixed that, and so now all of a sudden everyone can just pay online for the same thing. You can hook up your own payments, and you all just split it on there, which is really cool. And the payments don't, I'm guessing the payments don't go through until you all have been, I'm guessing you don't get your place, like the full payment doesn't go through unless everyone pays and the entire place is paid in full. So I mean I like this idea. It ensures that everyone pays, and that, I mean, there's also the other scenario too. I mean, let's say there's a bunch of college kids. They want to rent out a place, a crazy place, for $2,000 for one weekend. Okay, it's a really nice place, $2,000 for one weekend. Because they're poor college kids, they don't have more than $700 in their bank account. And there's 5 of them. And so one of them cannot pay all up front, right? Does that make sense? One of them cannot pay $2,000 up front because they don't have the money. They cannot pay that online. And so now Airbnb says, okay, well, now you can all just pay $400 out of your bank account and it's good. And so I like this idea. It's cool that they implemented this. I never really thought of that, but it's one of those minor details which good companies always think about. So cool for Airbnb. Elon Musk tries to debunk rumors he's Bitcoin creator Satoshi Nakamoto. I just heard this today, and I think that that's hilarious. Elon Musk did not make Bitcoin, but people don't know. No one knows who the creator of Bitcoin is. He's not in the media. He's essentially using an anonymous username called Satoshi Nakamoto, and he or she could be worth hundreds of millions of dollars, maybe billions of dollars. And no one knows where they are. No one knows where they live. No one knows who they are, but they're probably worth a lot of money. So, and it's not Elon Musk. Elon Musk is not Satoshi Nakamoto. Okay, let's move on here. I'm going to keep this episode short. The happiest countries pay some of the highest taxes in the world. This is true. However, as I talked about before in previous videos, so the top 10 happiest countries according to whatever, United Nations. Okay, so it's the United Nations report. Okay, so that's legit. Happiest is Norway, followed by Denmark, then Iceland, Switzerland, Finland, Netherlands, Canada at number 7, New Zealand, Australia, then Sweden. And they pay some of the highest taxes in the world. I mean, Canada, we pay some high taxes here, but here's something, I mentioned before, is that all of these countries here, most of them, their taxes are higher for employees. They are actually lower for corporations. And so, oh yeah, I have to talk about this with you guys too. I'll make this whole separate video about this eventually, but yeah, so I'm thinking of when to incorporate my business. And now I've already kind of signed up for the business, and I got the business license and all of that. But corporation's different, and I think that the number in terms of gross revenue that your company should have before you should incorporate. I talked about this with my tax accountant, and or my dad actually talks it with him, and then he talked it with me. But he said that the numbers for me is going to be around $150,000 to $200,000 just from that one part of the business. This is for my e-commerce marketplace. So that's the number I'm going to need to hit here. Now, everything else, if you want consulting and YouTube and all that stuff, I mean, I could incorporate that now if I really wanted to, I'm guessing. But I'm not really going to do that. So anyways, like what sort of revenue number should you hit to incorporate? I think that the number in Canada is at least $150,000 to $200,000. So anyways, what was I getting to here? So all of these countries, their employee taxes are very high, but their corporate taxes are fairly low. And minimum wage in half of these countries is non-existent. Canada's is the highest in the world, I think. The Canada minimum wage is going to be $15, and it's going to be like $16. Like, it's going to be so high. It's going to be tough for me to hire people. Like, that $15 minimum wage, that's approaching a 30 grand a year job, which is kind of insane. That's minimum wage. That's just... My opinion on minimum wage is that minimum wage should be the minimum amount for you to live on, barely live on, and scrape by. No entertainment stuff. No, you're not allowed to go out and buy any fancy food and order in, or go on dates or go to the movies. Minimum wage should be, if you were to work at that job full time, minimum wage should be the minimum amount that you can pay rent. Maybe not even in the city though. Maybe it should be different. Minimum wage should be different on a city by city basis, because, for example, minimum wage in New York, it should be more than it is in, rural Alabama, right? And so, ideally the minimum wage in any given area should be enough for the person to just pay a minimum basic rent for a bad place to feed themselves and have the electricity on. And bare minimum. Now, it can be more, but I don't agree that it should be enough for you to support a family like everyone in Ontario thinks it should. That's just, you shouldn't be able to support a family on a McDonald's cashier job salary. And that's what people want. So I don't know. I'm kind of torn on this. But again, like, the happiest countries in the world have the highest taxes but have no minimum wage. And I think that, that's an interest, and low corporate taxes. And I think that's the way to go, because you're rewarding entrepreneurs. You're taxing people that have job security, and giving them a lot of, take 3 years off if you have a kid. That's what it is in Norway, right? And you can pay, and the market decides who gets paid what. And now there isn't a lot of people in those countries with no minimum wage getting paid, the equivalent of less than $10 an hour in Canadian dollars. It's just non-existent because people wouldn't work for that, right? Anyways, that's my thought on all that. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. Okay, so let's move on here to Facebook. Oh, whoa, why did this pop up here? Let's just get rid of that. Facebook and Google hit record highs as investors shrug off inappropriate content and ads. Yeah, this is true. What's the Russia ad stuff? I really don't like how people think that Russia hacks every single election. Sure, they might try, but the fact that people think that they could influence tens of millions of votes from $1 million in Facebook ads. If they gave a course on how to influence people with Facebook ads, and this was all true, they would be the best marketers in the world. If they could influence 10 million people with $1 million, they'd be the richest. They could go do whatever they want. They could go be billionaires and start a company, because guess what? That's a 10x return. Yeah, influencing 10 million people for $1 million, influencing votes too. I really don't like that. Now, sure, should Russia be having Facebook political ads? Probably not. I get that, but I'm also, free speech. People should be able to do whatever. I don't know. I'm really torn on this. What do you guys think? What do you guys think of this whole Russia Facebook situation? And what do you think of? I guess that Russia's not doing Google ads, but yeah, I guess the Google ads is more of the kids stuff, right? Anyways, their stocks are still at an all-time high, so let's move on here. Mark Cuban says that billionaires have these 3 skills and anyone can learn them. Number 1 skill is they are constant learners. This is 100% true. Wealthy people that I know keep learning all the time, and it's not necessarily even skills. It could just be picking up information. It could be, I don't know. It could be a bunch of, I don't know, information. Reading books about some autobiography. Maybe it's learning skills. Maybe it's learning how to code. But whatever it is, you just keep learning. Mark Cuban says he reads books all the time. I'm trying to think of a billionaire who doesn't continuously keep learning. Does anyone have that number out there? Even would I'm guessing George Soros does, but like he would be the typical old Greek guy who I'm guessing, or whatever, he's from Bulgaria, that maybe doesn't do that. Because my grandparents, I can tell just from the culture, they're from Greece and Macedonia. They're and they did pretty well too, but they don't read up on stuff. They just watch the news. But yeah, billionaires are constant learners. I guess that's if anyone can come up with a billionaire who doesn't constantly learn, whether it's reading books or learning new skills, let me know in the comments down below. I'm really interested in that, because I'm guessing that there's some baller billionaire somewhere that just sold their company, is like, okay, I'm good, and just is, you know, screwing off for the rest of their life. Okay, number 2, they are skilled at sales. They're skilled at sales. This is true. You have to be able to sell people on, it doesn't have to be a product. It could be just on yourself. Maybe it's, if you're a billionaire CEO, like some big finance, you have to sell people that you are a good CEO, that you are proper, that you know what you're doing, that you know how to trade. You have to sell, if you're getting clients, you have to sell people on, look, I'm the right person for this job. If you're selling a product, you have to be like, okay, this product is good for you because of this, this, and this. So they all know how to sell. I mean, that's actually another one. Yeah. I mean, not all billionaires, I guess, know how to sell. I mean, if you make a good enough product, I guess the product kind of speaks for itself. I mean, Facebook was a good enough product where Zuckerberg's not out there. I guess, you know what, he had to sell investors. He had to sell Peter Thiel, right? He got Peter Thiel to invest in the company. So I don't know. I guess all billionaires do have to know how to sell. Number 3 is they put in the effort. Yeah, I mean, unless you inherit your wealth and you're a billionaire, I mean, you have to put in more work than anyone else's. I mean, I've taken off some time the past couple weeks because of health problems and mental stuff, and I just kind of need to get my head straight again. But when I'm working, I mean, it is actual 14 to 16 hour work days every day. No, 7 days a week. Gary Vee does that too, and he's not even a billionaire. He's just several hundred millionaires, what is that? Centimillionaire. I know. Billionaires work a lot. And yeah, I guess that's a common trait. So what do you guys think of those 3 traits? Let me know in the comments down below what you think. Okay, let's move on here. Amazon. Here's actually just an interesting thing here, is that if you invested $1,000 in any of these companies 10 years ago, here's what your $1,000 would be worth today. So started off with, what is that company? Oh my God, I recognize the logo. What is that? I don't know. But we'll just start off with Pfizer. So Pfizer would be worth $1,400. Coca-Cola, $1,489. Walmart, $1,900. So a lot of the big companies that have been around 100 years, you wouldn't have gotten a great return, but you would have gotten okay. I mean, that's 5% per year, 8% per year, 9% per year. FedEx, $2,185. Microsoft, $2,260. Okay, let's move on here. Let's move on to the top ones here. If you invested in Apple 10 years ago, it would be worth $6,228. So that's a 6 times return on investment if you invested $1,000. Amazon, if you invested 10 years ago, would be worth $12,000 today. $12,398. 12 times return. And number 1 is Netflix. Netflix, you would have gotten a $51,000. It would be worth $51,966 if you invested 10 years ago. Kind of crazy. That's a 51 times return on investment. That's not even a penny stock too. Really cool. And you see how the top 2 here, the top 2 dogs, which are way ahead of everyone else. I guess top 3 even. They made some of the biggest innovations in the world. I mean, 2007, Apple made the iPhone. Right? Apple made the iPhone, and they obviously they've done a bunch of stuff since then, but Apple made the iPhone around 2007. Amazon started selling everything around 2007, 2008, 2009, 2010. That's why there was so much. And Netflix, I mean, once data and streaming became a lot cheaper than it was in 1999, they were able to do the monthly subscription service. That's why they grew as a company. They weren't just sending people DVDs in the mail anymore. They were just streaming everything online. And so they made 3 of the biggest innovations, and that's why they've had 3 of the biggest returns in the stock market of the past 10 years. Let's move on to the last thing here. I'm just going to touch on this quickly, and then I'll go. Arby's acquires Wild Wings, Buffalo Wild Wings. This was just some big news here. It's a $2.4 billion acquisition here. Wendy's, I didn't know this, Wendy's owns 18.5% of Arby's. It's really weird how whenever there's any sort of acquisition or merging, there's always stuff like this that comes out here. Like, oh yeah, by the way, this other giant company owns this, part of their competitor. Really weird how that stuff comes out. Like, and how, I was surprised, Amazon owns like Twitch. Now they're not competitors, but I just mean, it's really random stuff like that. Amazon owns Twitch. I mean, everyone knows Facebook owns Instagram, but Instagram was a competitor, right? And it's just really, I mean, I talked to someone recently about how they didn't know that Instagram was owned by Facebook. and they were a big Instagram user. So anyways, I think we're just going to wrap this up here because I just want to keep this episode shorter today. So thank you very much for watching. You're all very beautiful people. You can check out my stock market program in the link below if you want to check that out, learn how to set up your stuff, your account, or the Wealth Accelerator. So that's like whatever, 10 hours of content, 30 plus videos of entrepreneurship related content. So if you're interested in those things, check those out in the link down below. Yeah, so thank you for watching. You're all very beautiful people. I'll see you guys next time.